Here I am on this glorious Sunday, sunny Sunday, getting all of my beautiful food ingredients out, ready to prep to start vlogging because I haven't done that in I don't even know how long. And here I was thinking, I'm so prepared, I'm in such a good mood, this is gonna be amazing, and I'm not gonna let anything dull my spirit because I have so much to do today. But this stupid little box of risotto that I picked up out of my cupboard exploded out of its asshole and it's all over the floor in my cupboard. Let me show you. Not to mention it all went in my shoes. Love that for me. So anyway, g'day, welcome back to my channel. Anyway, welcome back to another vloggy. I'm doing a massive food prep today. I'm going to show you roughly what I'm doing and then I'm just going to get to it because I need to get it done. So there'll be a little bit of time lapse in here and then I will go through and let you know where you can find the recipes that I've used because they're things I've made before. There's reels on my Instagram account. The only thing I haven't made before that I'm making is a chicken soup, but it's like literally just chicken, whatever vegetables you've got at home, chicken stock, a bunch of herbs and spices in the slow cooker for literally the whole day, and then that half a box of risotto I have left I'll dump in like the last half an hour tonight before I divvy it up into some containers. So that's just going to be like a nice winter warmer that like I can take to school. It can just go in the freezer in little containers. Might send some home with my mum actually. So I'm doing a chicken soup. I'm doing my zucchini and corn fritters. That was my reel that like went viral when I made those, but I got the recipe from like another Instagram person and which I shared it with her and whatnot. And then I'm also doing Artie's oat and banana pancakes, which I've made a million times. So I'm going to get to it. I'm not going to talk you through what I'm using and what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it and then I will let you know later. If there's links to the recipes, I'll put them in the notes below. Otherwise, just watch and have fun and enjoy. Okay, so chicken and vegetable soup. As you saw, I literally used any vegetables I had. So we've got carrot, potato, zucchini, fresh tomatoes rather than a tin of tomatoes because I always add that as like a base anyway. Carrot, potato, tomato, zucchini, a kilo of chicken breast diced up, which obviously it's being slow cooked, so it's going to go nice and flaky anyway. A litre and I reckon a half of chicken stock, ground garlic, pepper, ground garlic powder, mixed herbs, salt and pepper, and then just some vegetable stock that I've just added. So I only did a little bit of salt and pepper over the top of the chicken just so it sat there whilst I was doing the veggies, because obviously I'd rather it all cook together first and then see what it needs later. So I'm just gonna whack the lid on and leave that on high literally all day. I mean, it's 10:45 now-ish, so that'll be beautiful by tonight. So yeah, that.
You told me there'd be better days, and nothing that can pull us under. You wanna take the pain away, but know that I was born as a fighter. We fade, but we're better than that. We're better than that. I know you know, so why are we holding on, holding on? Yeah, seems like we're back on start, but go. I go right and you go left before it turns to right. It's true. Yeah, I hope that we could work it out. We'll never be enough for you. No shed a tear or two. The good. There are other ways and other reasons, but only one that cuts to pieces. So why we tryna hide from trust when we could just leave? We fade, but we're better than that. Yeah, we're better than that. I know you know, so why are we holding on, holding on? Yeah, seems like we're back on start, but go. I go right and you go left before it turns to right. It's true. Yeah, I hope that we could work it out. We'll never be enough for you. No shed a tear or two. The good. Hardest thing to do. Did it all for you. Hardest thing to do. Did it all for you. Hardest thing to do. Did it all for you. Yeah, seems like we're back on start, but go. I go right and you go left before it turns to right. It's true. Yeah, I hope that we could work it out. We'll never be enough for you. No shed a tear or two. The good. You told me there'd be better days, and nothing that can pull us under. You wanna take the pain away, but know that I was born as a fighter. We fade, but we're better than that. We're better than that. I know you know, so why are we holding on, holding on? Yeah, seems like we're back on start, but go. I go right and you go left before it turns to right. It's true. Yeah, I hope that we could work it out. We'll never be enough for you. No shed a tear or two. The good. There are other ways and other reasons, but only one that cuts to pieces. So why we tryna hide from trust when we could just leave? We fade, but we're better than that. Yeah, we're better than that. I know you know.
Okay, so I know it looks scary making these because you're just like, how are they gonna stay bound together? Like, how are you gonna take them out and they're gonna work? The second batch where I added way too many breadcrumbs by accident is actually perfection. Look at this. So this is them just flipped over, and I'm gonna put them back in for another 10 minutes or so, and they'll like firm up a little bit more and get a little bit more golden and crunchy. But like even the first batch, you can see, I'll show you. Still not bad, but you can just see they've got a lot more like little flappy edges and stuff. And that's just because the egg obviously ran out a little bit more with the cheese. So these ones are perfect with more breadcrumbs. So I'm gonna change it to 10 tablespoons next time. Yummy. how I make my bolognese. Our sauce is homemade every year. I use the Muti Polpa tin of like puree tomato, herbs and spices, mint, garlic, onion, a little bit of oil. That's literally it. It's super clean. That is going to go on the slow spot now and cook pretty much until tonight. And then maybe like half an hour before we're going to start boiling the water to make our pasta, I actually tip a whole bag of frozen peas into that sauce, and then we have it with like little shells, and then I'll freeze some of the sauce as well, and we can have that with some other pasta another time. But yeah, so I'm just going to tidy up and start putting some stuff in containers and freezing things. But yeah. Good morning! It's orientation day today, but I'm at home in my business on the top, which is just like a little comfy jumper, and then my trackies because it's over Zoom. Now, I don't have much time this morning to give you an update, so I'll give you an update this afternoon when I finish and I tell you how it all went. But basically on Friday, which was the 21st of May, 21st of April, bearing in mind I start on the 1st of May, so there was like 10 days between Friday and when I start. They changed... What's the problem? What's wrong? What's wrong? It's still there, look. It's still locked in there. It's alright. This is the before the coffee hits kind of situation. Can you see? Is it right? My mum's about to walk through the door any minute because she's going to watch Artie because it's from like 8:45 till 1. But anyway, on Friday, they changed all of my college days at the last minute. So all of this logistics and craziness I've been trying to sort out for months before I went on holidays, when I got back, changing daycare days, being on the wait list, organising the parents, and they go and change it 10 days before. So anyway, I'm going to make it work and I'll fill you in this afternoon. We'll sit down and do a debrief. If there's still more, I just have to shake it. There you go. Same though. Anyway, I'll update you this afternoon. Okay. We'll see you this afternoon. So, I came in at 8:20. I'm logged in, you can hear them talking. Like just to connect to the Zoom, make sure my speakers were working, I could connect my headphones, and they're talking, and there's like a slide up. So I like chatted and was like, this is Perth time, right? They're running it in chunks so that Sydney and Melbourne can view them, and then they redo it from our time. Because like, if that had already started, that would be the straw that broke the camel's back. I would be done. So anyway, I'm set up. I've got Zoom. I keep getting scared that they can hear me. So it was Zoom on my laptop, my iPad's there for me to log into the portals and get everything set up, and then I'll have pen and paper and then I'll redo my notes later. But it sounds exciting from what I can hear so far, so wish me luck. I've got to get my scrubs. Hello from Scrubs Girl. I'm gonna get changed out of these because you would have just seen the footage before this of me going to get my scrubs. I'm so excited. Oh, actually, let's just like, while we're here, you know, because we're going this way. Hi, how can I help you today? My name is Hayley. I'm a student nurse. I'm here to learn. Okay, let me get Jane. Okay, back in my pajamas, but like, how weird is that? Like, I have scrubs hanging in my room now. It's so wild. Actually, let me quickly show you what I did last night. So I've got my whiteboard up and running. This is like that tape stuff that you can get, I think it's in my drawer somewhere. But yeah, so it like sticks to your whiteboard, and then I will just every month go through and write the days. And I wrote the dates. I wrote the days of the week in permanent Sharpie, so they'll just always stay there, and then I'll just obviously correspond to the days of the calendar and write the month. I have so much to do on my to-do list. I can't even, but here's a little snippet into what May is going to look like. So 2 full-time weeks of school. Well, it's like half days, but when you include travel and all the rest of it, what even is a half day? Jake is away this week. Jake is then on late and on call for this week, and at TAFE. So May is going to be fabuloso for us. So anyway, it's Anzac Day, least we forget. Why did I just speak like a Kiwi? That was weird. I'm having a lunch. Delicious. Pasta with peas. I just make your bolognese, put a bag of frozen peas in there. Amazing. Serve it with shells, even better. So, it is Anzac Day. Yesterday I had my orientation and I promised you that I would update you when it finished, but it was just a long day yesterday. So I want to talk it through. I also said I would update you guys on what happened last week because I updated it on my Instagram, but not on my stories. So I'm going to do this as quickly as possible so I can potentially edit this video today and post it up. Oh my God, a live video. Are you kidding me? So anyway, on Friday, how can I hear Jake from in here? Jake, shut up. Artie's trying to sleep in the room next to me. Here's me yelling. Okay, so on Friday, I was leaving work and, you know, I've spent the last 2 months organising our whole life, organising daycare, organising the grandparents to work look after Artie on different days. You know, and like as grateful as we are that we have that support and that help, it's still a lot of logistics and driving for us. You know, we have to do drop-offs and pickups and stuff, but we're happy to do that because it means we have the help and we only have to pay for 2 days of daycare. So obviously like that works in our favor. So we'll do and we always say this, we'll do whatever we can to make it work for us, which is great. So I was leaving work at 2 o'clock on Tuesday because I was meeting my uncle at the hospital for a little like 6-month anniversary like sermon of my godmother passing away. This is just what the hospital does with the pastoral services, which is really beautiful. So they just do this little like half an hour ceremony, and then they do like, and I didn't expect it, I thought it would be like tea and coffee and like a few biscuits or something, but they put on like a full afternoon spread with like little cakes and scones, and it was actually really nice to get to sit with him and have a chat because I hadn't seen him for a couple of months, you know, with the baby things happening. And then we had Artie's christening, which he came to, and I barely got to see him at all. So I felt bad. So it was nice to just sit with him and have, you know, some time to just chat and catch up, make sure he's okay and all the rest of it. So anyway, did that. But in between leaving work and getting to the hospital, I saw this email pop up on my phone from school. So as soon as I pulled into the car park at Midland, I opened the email. And the email said, I'm going to give you straight facts. So bearing in mind, I start school on Monday, the 1st of May. So when I got this email, you know, I'm like, it's 10 days until school. Like, are you actually kidding me? So basically, up until the 21st, which was 25th, 24th, 23rd, 22nd. So Friday was the 21st. So literally at 10 o'clock in the morning, I got an email saying, congratulations on starting your new journey. We look forward to welcoming you. We'd also like to invite you to a face-to-face orientation session, which is scheduled for Monday or Wednesday. You can choose. These are the addresses. You don't need to bring anything or your laptop and whatnot, so you can do all your logins, but basically we'll see you there. If you have any credit transfers, bring those as well. I got this email at the beginning of the week, so I already knew, I'd already confirmed that I'd be attending. So this was just a reminder, which was great. You know, the attachments had like the full orientation schedule, and I was excited because I'm like, oh, we get to like, you know, learn about our uniform and our books and our nurse kit, which I've already got mine. So, you know, I was like, just really excited to have, you know, get up yesterday and go into the city, have my orientation, meet some people that I'll be going to school with and all of that. So that was on Friday morning, and I don't know what changed between getting that email and getting this email at 4:43 p.m. because I rang. I can't find his original email, to be fair. I think it came from like the standard student one. Basically, I got this email pop up that said the face-to-face orientation for Perth has been cancelled. It will now be online. You'll be joining Sydney and Melbourne, and at the end we will do the rest of your orientation with your Perth coordinator to explain the little things for Perth, because there's a few differences, which we soon learnt yesterday. And then we will do your like facility tour, your student ID cards, and anything else that you need face-to-face when you start your first day, which is the 3rd of May. And I'm sitting there like, I don't start on the 3rd of May, I start on the 1st of May. He's got me confused with a Melbourne or Sydney person, but he said the Perth orientation's cancelled. So anyway, I just rang the number that was on his email. Turns out the guy that I spoke to, it was like a shoot the messenger situation, because he's actually a BDM. So he doesn't deal with students, coordination, timetables, nothing. He is there to get business for the school. So, you know, marketing and all the rest of it. But his manager and whatnot was away, and someone was like, hey, you have access to student support email. Can you send a generic email out to all of these students reminding them orientation has been cancelled and that their days will now start on Wednesdays? This poor guy copped it yesterday. So anyway, I get this email saying, apologies for the inconvenience. Perth campus classes will now be from 8:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. Wednesday, Thursday, and half day Friday. And that was after me speaking to him on the phone twice, having a mental breakdown, all the rest of it. So that set it in stone for me. And I was just like, this is a joke. Like, I just could not. I felt so bad because I wanted to be present with my uncle. But for the first like half of this thing that we went to, I was just sitting there so mad going, why? Why is this happening? So anyway, there's nothing I could do in that moment to fix it. It was Friday. All I could hope is that it genuinely was cancelled. I had the Zoom link. I was like, I'll log in on Zoom a little bit earlier to make sure I'm in the right spot. But worst case scenario, I log in and they go, you're supposed to be on campus today. I would just go on the Wednesday because there was 2. So it was fine. It's just annoying, but it is what it is. So then Saturday morning at Saturday afternoon, yesterday, 3 p.m. Dear student, please find attached your campus and online timetable for your course. Kind regards. That was it. So I've opened it and it's basically looks like this. Hang on, let me see if you can. So it's just a massive Excel spreadsheet and it's got Melbourne, Sydney, Perth. And in the top box next to Perth, it also has in brackets, not next to any other ones, just Perth. For week 1 and 2, the time will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. AWST. Doesn't say anything about attending Monday to Friday for the first 2 weeks. It just says your timing for the first 2 weeks will be 9 to 1. So I thought, okay, so they're just going to run it for 3 days, but 9 to 1 instead of 2 full days and a half day. That's great. But when you look at the schedule, it's got units in there for every day. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, which Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then same for the second week. And then in week 3, so from the 15th of May, it's got nothing in Monday and Tuesday, and then it's got lectures and tutorials in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'm looking at it going, this to me says I need to be at school for 2 full weeks for the first 2 weeks. And it's the introduction to nursing unit. So anyway, I'm going into yesterday going, look, as long as we get it clarified by the time we finish, it is what it is. But it also, the timetable confirms Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I was just like, okay, at least I've got something in writing now. So, you know, I've spoken to the parents, made sure everything was going to be fine. And they're like, at the end of the day, it's still fine for us regardless because nothing's changing for us. It's just the logistics for me. So, you know, in a perfect world, the plan was that on a Sunday afternoon, Artie goes to my mum's house and then Jacob picks him up on a Tuesday afternoon on his way home from work. It's out the way, but it's on his way home. Because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were my school days. Wednesday is a half day, what was like 8:30 till 2. So I would still do our normal Wednesday routine, which is get up early, drop him at Jacob's mum's house. But instead of going to work, I'm going to the city. It was the same kind of timing. So it just meant I actually had to be somewhere at a certain time, as where with work, it's a bit more flexible. So that wasn't going to change, but it also then meant like I would picking you up around the same time I would on a Wednesday. So that's fine. And then he's going to daycare Thursday and Friday while I'm working. Except now, he's going to be at my mum's for 2 days. Then he's going to come home Tuesday night. Wednesdays, he's going to go to Jake's mum's house in the morning, but obviously I finish a lot later. So either Jake's going to have to go pick him up, or Wednesdays is just going to be a really long day for him. And then Thursday morning is daycare drop-off, and Friday morning is daycare drop-off. And Jake only works late shift once every 4 or 5 weeks. So it's one really stressful, shitty week out of, 5 or 6. So it's not the worst, but those weeks are going to be horrible for Artie. Well, actually, no, I keep saying that, but in the scheme of things, when Jake is on late shift, he drops Artie off at daycare on his way to work, which is about 20 past 8. So it's actually almost an hour later than what he usually goes. So if he's going an hour later and then he is getting picked up a little bit later from myself, because I still don't even know what time we finished. One guy says 4 o'clock. So I'm going, okay, well, that's fine. I'll be picking Artie up by 5:30. So that's okay. He's starting later, finishing later. The next guy says, oh no, it's 8:30 till 5. And I'm just like, I just don't even know what it is. So anyway, I've got spare people that I can register to pick him up from daycare if, it's a long day and daycare calls and says he's just not coping in the afternoons because he gets really tired. Then obviously I'll be able to figure something out. But it's just going to take a little bit of readjusting for all of us. So, as I was saying, in a perfect world, he was going to be at my mum's. So I wasn't going to have to worry about daycare ringing me and saying that he's sick, or him being there for 12 hours or anything like that. I was going to be able to just go to bed early, wake up, have my breakfast, get myself dressed and ready, get my school bag, get out the door, get the train, whatever I need to do, and then not worry about if I'm running late at TAFE, or if the day goes over, or if I finish early, I can come home and spend some more time studying. I was really struggling with the anxiety of not being with him for 2 days again, even though this is what he used to do when he would stay at Jake's parents' house in the middle of the week. So it's better now with him being older, he's a little bit more chilled, but it's still hard for me to let go and be like, well, someone else has to look after my kid because I have to go to school. But it is for the best, and I know that. But yeah, so like I said, instead of me being able to just get up, do my own thing, go and come and do that for those 2 days, and then, pick him up on the Wednesday, now it's just a little bit more of, well, okay, I'll be working Monday, Tuesday for now until I can't. So I'll use those nights to go to the gym, do a little bit more food prep, and just try and make life a little bit easier for those busy few days. May is just an absolute write-off because Jacob is away, Jacob is on late, Jacob's on call. It's all in the same month, which is really hard. But it's not going to be like this forever. He doesn't always go away. This is just a one-off thing, and I know we will get through this. But you can imagine, I walked in the door on Friday and he knew something was up because he's like, oh, were you just on the phone? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh, you just look funny. I was like, no, it's fine. And then I walked inside and then unpacked my bag and was like, okay, let's go for showers. Or I'm going to go for a shower because they'd already showered. And we got in the hallway and I just said, I've just had the worst day. And he's like, what's happened? And I just burst into tears. You guys know, I don't cry. Obviously, yes, when someone dies, I get really upset and I cry because I'm human. Obviously, when I lost my babies, I went through a really hard time. But when things like this happen, I'm just like, it is what it is. I can't change it. And that's the leaf that I give people out of my book. And I needed to take that back for a minute because it's okay to just feel like everything's falling apart. Even though, like I said, nothing really was going to change. It's just those days are going to be really hard for me. But I know I can do it. If anyone can do it, I know it's me. So that's a little bit of an update on what happened there. So then I get to orientation yesterday, and when I say get to, I mean I walked to this room and sat down in front of my computer. So Jake's dad has managed to fully reset my whole computer. He nuked it and basically reprogrammed the whole thing. He's put Office, Word, all the rest of it on there, Zoom, and it's just completely an empty shell. So he's like, if you do anything on there, you take it straight off onto your hard drive and don't leave anything on there. So I haven't tried editing or anything on there yet. I'm going to try today, but I'm hoping that won't kill it again. But it's slow, but it worked for Zoom all day yesterday. And I'm going to do some modules and training today. I've got to do my hand hygiene certificate and infection control. So I'm going to try and use that for that. Anyway, I digress. So orientation starts. I log in at 8:20, it doesn't start till 8:45. Like I just opened up Zoom, got my laptop warmed up, turned my iPad on, got all my pens and pencils out, and I put the code in for the meeting and just clicked join. And normally it will say this meeting hasn't started yet, but when it does, someone will let you in. But it logged straight in and there was a presentation happening and I'm going, it's only 8:20, like what's going on, blah, blah. And then I'm like, what's the time over there? 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm like, oh my gosh, like literally what is happening? So I just put in the chat and was like, hey, I'm from Perth. Like, am I supposed to even be in this thing or am I late? Was it supposed to be Eastern Standards? Because mine says Western Standards. And then I heard the guy like slow down his talking and then he must have read my message and I heard him say, hi, Jasmine, can you please address the Perth students that like you can see that they're logging in now? So it mustn't have just been me logging in. But yeah, basically they sent a message in where everyone can see and just said, hi Perth students, we'll be with you shortly. We're just finishing up the orientation for Sydney and Melbourne and then you'll be joining in, but feel free to listen and just keep it in the background. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'd like walked out to my mum and was like, I think I'm late. So I was panicking for no reason. So that was all good. So anyway, I got to sort of like hear a few bits twice, which was actually cool because the guy that's our Perth coordinator didn't end up doing our end bit of the orientation like he was doing for them. It was the person from Sydney, so they must have just like swapped for the day or something, which was weird. But anyway, so I got to hear him explain some things, which was nice because then the lady that explained them to us, like I could tell English wasn't her first language, but she explained everything fine, just not in as much detail as him. But the first 2.5 hours of all the Perth students logging on was them not realizing, not seeing the email I'd seen, and half of them just finding out that the timetable's changed. You have to come to school for 2 weeks. That part I was just learning as well. So I was a bit like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not going to get paid for 2 weeks. Like, I can't do that. But it is what it is. So anyway, it was just everyone fighting. About 8 to 10 people said, I have to withdraw. How do I do this? Send me the paperwork. I literally cannot change it. Like, I've moved heaven and earth. And it was one of those moments where I'm sitting there going, yeah, like me too. And I was like feeling so bad because as upset as I was on Friday, I'm so grateful that I've still managed to be able to make it work because this is like the rest of my life. And I knew that we'd be able to do whatever we could, but a lot of people don't have the opportunity to do that. And like, I was talking to one of the girls in there and I'm like, I almost had to quit my job. And then she's like, yeah, but the fact that you could even consider doing that. And I'm like, well, no, I couldn't. I'm saying like, I was prepared that if that was what I had to do, that was what I had to do. And then she's like, I literally can't, like, we're immigrants here, rah, rah. So anyway, she ended up withdrawing, which was really sad because they were like, no, we don't want you to do that. Like, we'll try and figure it out. And she's like, unless you literally say you'll revert back to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I cannot do this. I have got my child in 2 different daycares to cover these days. I can't even get there for 9 o'clock next week because I wasn't planning on being there until those days. So anyway, it was just this massive cat fight. Like, I put something on my Instagram story and everyone was like, whoa, this chat was just going off. And I think some people didn't realize that everyone could see it. Like, you could choose obviously in Zoom to just talk to one person, but everyone was just talking to everyone. So everyone's like, I can't do it, blah, blah, blah. Why did you change this? Why are we just finding out today? We start next week. Anyway, I'll let your mind wander. It just went off. Like, it literally just went off. It was ridiculous. And so pretty much the first 2.5 hours with that, then we got to, I think it was about 12 o'clock our time. No, it must have, so we logged in at 8:45. They started talking to us about 9:15. And I reckon by 11:30 our time, 12:30, 1:30, yeah, they were gonna let Sydney and Melbourne go and have half an hour lunch. So the principal of Perth came online. They got him to come out of his meeting and join the Zoom and said, while Sydney and Melbourne are having lunch, the principal is going to sit with you guys and you can chat, you can ask all of your questions. It went for 45 minutes to the point where he was just like, okay, I feel like I've explained it enough. I have apologized profusely. I don't know what more I can do. There's nothing we can do to change it. We are trying to facilitate 120 students. This is what we came up with. Apparently, the really frustrating thing is, and this is a flaw within their system, they made these changes and set them in stone at the end of March. And apparently in the first week of April, they let us know, no, I get emails from them all the time. I did not get one email about the change. Half the students got told from the beginning it would be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but there was about 20 of us like me that were like, no, it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we're all looking through our emails, sending screenshots, and he's like, I don't not believe any of you. I know what it was. But what I'm saying is I can't change it right now. So I'd simmered down because I'd been processing this since Friday. I just wanted to have the orientation, get something in writing, and basically I was the only and again, I'm not racist. I think anyone deserves to be a nurse. If you can speak English, you should go and do this. If you can't do anything else, literally, why not? But I was very clearly the only white Australian person for my class. I think there might have been another male actually as well. But anyway, so I sort of chatted in there and was like, guys, I'm just going to put my hand up. Can I talk for a second? And then he was like, yep, can everyone please turn their mics off? And you put your name in the chat if you want to talk next. And everyone was like, me. So he's like, Hayley, can I please hear from you? So I just said, look, I got the same emails. I'm happy to share them with you. I said, but I feel like you already know what the deal was. I said, this is really frustrating. What sucks is that you can see half of these people have now said they may have to withdraw because of this stupid change. Now, I've spent the last 2 or 3 days, wallowing in my own self-pity, feeling like it's only me that's dealing with this hardship, let alone the fact that it's 120 students and 75 of them are sitting in this orientation today, clearly only just finding it out. So I feel lucky now that I saw the email and had been logging into the student portal, so I'd been able to see that. I said, but anyway, if there's nothing that you can do, I think what a lot of these students are trying to ask is, how lenient are you going to be on us for the next 2 weeks, knowing that we didn't know we had to come to school for 2 weeks because you have only just told us now? And as far as 9 o'clock being a little bit later than what we originally got told, that's fine, but it wasn't for the whole week. So that's why people were saying, I won't be able to get there. I've got to drop my kids off. So pretty much I just explained it all to him on behalf of us and why we all felt the way that we did. And yeah, it literally just became one of those things where he was just like, I appreciate you guys so much. I promise that this isn't going to be something that keeps happening. I'm just logging into my student portal. He was like, this has just been a massive thing. We're trying to facilitate everyone. I know that it's not going to work for some, and I really do apologize, and we'll do whatever we can to help you, but I can't change it. This is your timetable. And I said, can you please formally email every single person that is going to be starting school that needs to be there on Monday and let them know? And if you don't hear from them, you need to have someone ringing them every day this week until they answer and let them know, because I would be absolutely devastated should I have planned my whole life around going to nursing school to know that I'm supposed to be starting on Monday, and obviously you're going to get there on Monday and they're going to be like, oh yeah, we'll see you Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then they're going to be like, I can't be here at the end of the week. So I just said to him, you need to now do whatever you can to make sure that every single one of these students is contacted, because there's clearly an English barrier with a lot of them and they're trying their hardest, but you're not understanding what they're saying and they're not understanding what you're saying. There was one guy that just kept popping up going, and what about my credit transfer? And the guy was like, oh my gosh, we just explained to you, if you have a credit transfer that you've submitted, you had to attend the orientation, so we knew that you were genuinely going to study here. You've attended, we've seen you, we've cited your IDs and all the rest of it. From today, your credit transfers will be processed. They explained this 4 or 5 times, and I was just like, yep, okay, next, because it didn't pertain to me. And this guy just did not get it. And so they'd be in the middle of this orientation with 100 other people, on video everywhere. And he just kept piping up, yelling, being like, you're not explaining about this. And I was just like, bro, calm down, you're not the only one. So I think yesterday really taught us that. It wasn't just us that got affected. It was literally everyone. People now need to move heaven and earth again to try and make it work. I'm feeling very grateful. I am ready to start. I sat last night. I have figured out the easiest and quickest way for me to get my notes done and then re-summarized, because even though it was just orientation, there was a lot of really helpful information in there. I'm going to see if I can show you quickly, but also the fact that there is a massive list of things we need to do as students before we get to placement, which is only 3 months away. So there's actually, let me go through the things. So anyway, this is my Good Notes notebook that I've made. It's going to show you because I'm very proud of it. And I've started the whole Good Notes note-taking process, and I'm absolutely obsessed. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. Look at it. How good. So anyway, on my last page, I have this massive checklist at the top. basically this is everything we need to get done before we get sent for placement, on top of theories, lectures, SBTs, which is simulator-based training, and then all your clinical labs, and then your OSCAR, which is your big your ATAR exam, I guess, but for nursing. So that's all in semester 1, I believe. I can't remember, but either way, all of your assessments have to be handed in on time, signed off, marked and passed before you get put through the PEP list, which is your placement experience. So they said the best way to make sure that you're going to get one of the best spots on placement is to make sure that you have everything on this list. Now, we got this whole immunization declaration form that's 3 pages long, and there is a bunch of things on there that I don't think I've ever been vaccinated for. But basically they said, take this to your doctor, get them to have a look at it and see what the best thing to do is. But most of the time they'll send you for a massive serology blood test and test you for all of those things. So measles, mumps, rubella, whooping cough, chicken pox, TBC, so tuberculosis, varicella, which I think is chicken pox anyway, HIV, Hep B, Hep C, all of the things. And if you so you have to test positive that you've got the antibodies in your blood. If you don't, you'll have to be revaccinated. And some of these things can take 6 to 8 weeks. If you've got to have 2 or 3, you can't have them all at the same time. So they said the best thing to do is to get all of this done now and basically have it all signed off, ready to go. And every time you get a certificate for something, bring it in and make sure that we scan it into your folder. So the more things you have ticked off, which is hopefully every box, the better position you'll get for placement. You're not just going to get shoved anywhere anyway, but you'll do aged care, but there's aged care in the hospital wards and then there's aged care in a home. So, if you want to be in the hospital and that's really what you're pushing for, then, you want to have everything. So I need to get my national police clearance, which is easy. Working with children's check, which again is easy. Immunization declaration, so I've had to print those forms off, book an appointment, which I've got for Wednesday, hopefully get the bloods done Thursday morning, and then I can book an appointment to go back and get my results next week because I'll have half days. You need minimum of 3 COVID vaccines, which I do have, so I'm grateful for that. I have to do the NDIS screening and orientation, so working with people with disabilities. I believe you do that through the Department of Transport, so you log into DOT, but I needed an employer code for that, so I've emailed them to ask for that. Basically I have to have that as well. Hand hygiene and infection control certificates, which are free and you do them online. Obviously first aid and CPR has to be up to date, and your manual handling license, and there's a stat dec form for something that has to be filled out. So I have this whole list. I've got all the pricing written next to them for a lot of them, and it's true what they say, it is expensive to do nursing, but it was no different for hairdressing, so it is what it is. That's that. I've already bought my main textbooks that I needed they said it was mandatory. They said, this is your book list, this is the textbook you need. And then yesterday they were like, oh, you could get a digital copy if you want, but it's better to have the in-person version because, you can tag out your pages and it's tangible and whatnot. But if you do just want to get the digital one, we have it in the library, the digital library, but you can only do sections at a time because it's such a big download. You have to say what page numbers you need. They were trying to explain it, but the guy was really confusing. There is 2 other books they've recommended, which I think I'm going to buy in a few weeks' time because I don't need them yet. One is Anatomy and Physiology in Health and Illness, and one is Harvard's Nursing Guide to Drugs, which when I get to pharmacology, I know is going to be so hard. So I think I definitely want to, I know I definitely want to buy them. And then the nurse's kit, I was so stoked because you guys know I've already got my nurse kit, and they said just get any of the nurse kits off eNurse based on how much you want to spend and what you think you might need, but you at least need a stethoscope and a sphygmomanometer, which is the blood pressure blowy up a bit. So that's amazing. So I was stoked. I was like, yep, I've got all that. And then I, because a few of us had chatted in the thing, one of the girls had chatted me personally earlier and said something, and I replied back and was like, oh, add me on Messenger. Or she'd said, if anyone wants to make a group chat, add me on Messenger, and wrote her name. So I added her straight away. And we've been talking back and forwards, and she's so lovely. So I'm really excited. Then as the day went on, a few of them were like, oh, add me on Instagram, or, oh, hey, can I message you to get the book list thing? Again, a lot of them don't speak proper English. So they're going to lean on you to help, which is amazing because you guys know I love that. So we made a Facebook Messenger chat, and yeah, basically I went and got my uniform yesterday. Obviously you know that now. So I told them all about how the sizing was, because like I got extra small. Like, are you kidding me? So school only has stock of large and up, so like large, extra large, double X, 3X. So they only have really big sizes, and they said if you need small, you need to go to the uniform shop. And that was so weird for me, as you guys can imagine, because like I'm so used to being like, I don't even think the largest size would fit me. So to have to get the smallest one, like I said to her, do you have a double XS? That's so weird to say. Do you have an extra small top? Because even this still swims on me, but it's comfy. I'll be able to layer underneath it, especially in winter, you know, with like thermals or like a skivvy or something. I mean, when I get to placement, I don't think I'll be able to do that. I'll have to have a proper scrub jumper. But yeah, for school, I can layer underneath it. Now, they also said it's not mandatory or compulsory to wear your uniform every day to school. It is totally up to you. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't be asked trying to pick something to wear every single day. Like, you know, it's going to be jeans, dunks, or Vans, and whatever jumper I'm feeling that day. So that's fine for most of the lecture days and whatnot. But if they go to do a shoot at the end of the day, and most of the things are like, there's lectures and shoots will be like, so it'll be like lecture and something else in the morning, and then shoots in the afternoon or practicals. But like, you have to have your scrubs to be able to go in the labs and stuff. So I was like, and the guy said the whole point in why we have a uniform is so that you're prepared. But again, it's up to you whether you wear them every day or not, or pack them in your bag. So the way I see it is, I'm going to be a student. I'm going to be a nurse. I need to wear scrubs for work. It's as simple as that. It's the same as like the badge rule situation. They say like, it's mandatory to have your student ID carried and clipped onto you at all times. The reason they are getting you in the habit of doing that is because when you work in the healthcare industry, especially in a hospital, you have to have your ID on you at all times. And if you do not, you can't access the parts that you need to access for work. You constantly have to be ID checked, and it's just absolutely frustrating. So you have it for a reason. And so like they said, we give you a uniform so you can get in the habit of wearing scrubs, and they're so comfy. So it was $75. They are just like the basic budget ones. They go through like Wanneroo uniform shop. So they're just like cotton. They move and they're a bit flexible, but they're not like super stretchy or anything like that. But some of the ones that were there were so nice. And I was like, well, if I can get nice ones in this color, can't I just pay to have the embroidery done at the shop myself? And she goes, yeah, you probably could, but just check with them. Just make sure that they're happy for us to like put the logo on them, because I'm going to need at least 2 sets when I get to placement so I can like wash. They dry really quick. I washed them on just like the 20-minute cycle when I got home yesterday to soften them a bit, and I hung them on those coat hangers just in the lounge room, and they were dry by the time I went to bed, which was really cool. So that's awesome, because especially with winter and stuff, I think it'll be about August when I get to my first placement, so it won't really be too cold and stuff. But you know, just anyway, you just never know what happens. If I have to like wash them every night and wear the next set and whatnot, at least I know they'll dry quickly. But some of them, the material was just so nice. They had loops to stick your like badge reels. The one that I have is just like a little C clip, but it's like a really tough one, and so you basically hook that over the V of your scrubs, and I like pulled on it and tried to move it, and it barely moves, so like that's really full on, which is awesome. The ones where you've got like the alligator clip, so like, that's gonna focus, yeah, so these ones, this is a higher rated alligator clip, because it like you could put keys and pens and everything else on there, so that fully swivels, so you could obviously clip that on the top of your scrubs, and then it doesn't matter which way you need to pull it and whatnot, that'll be fine. But I feel like it would still be better again on an actual loop, because it's not going to like slide off where it's not supposed to be. But I think these ones are going to be the way to go, so I'll remember that when I'm ordering more. I also have the one that came with my scrub set as well, and that actually has a C-clip, but also an alligator slidey clippy, which actually seems quite rigid too. And that also, you want these ones, you want the ones that completely spin, because it doesn't matter where it is, you want to be able to like. So anyway, but how cool, like I got blue scrubs and all of my stuff is teal, so it's not gonna like fully blend in but not stand out like dog's balls. But yeah, so anyway, super excited. Got all that stuff sorted. I'm going to spend some time today doing my modules and sorting that stuff out, because I just look at it as in the more I can do now means the more capacity I have for the actual learning once I start next week. So, you know, I'm not going to want to have time to piss fart around and sit and spend hours reading modules and stuff that, you know, I need to have it for a certificate, but it doesn't pertain to what I'm learning. It's just a health and safety thing. So we'll do that. I got to check. I think my first aid is still in date, but my CPR is expired, and I was going to do them through work, but they were like, oh, because you're not full time, like it's not worth it, which is fine, whatever. But yeah, so that's where we're up to. I think this has probably been a lot longer than what I expected, but there was a lot to tell you. There was a lot of tea to pour from that cup. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I don't know when I'll talk to you next. I obviously want to try and just like do a little vloggy of my first day of school, which probably won't be a whole lot. It'll more so be me just like walking into school, getting the train, parking my car, eating my lunch, getting coffee with my friends. But I'm so glad that I've met some people already, and I can't wait to just dive in and share what's to come with you. Like I'm so, when I put those scrubs on, I had to like hold myself back from crying in the shop. I was just like, what is happening? But anyway, again, a huge thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It makes me really happy. It means that people are watching my stuff and I can keep making more. And you can turn your notifications off, because who even needs to get notifications that someone's posted on YouTube? Like, you're going to go there and watch it anyway. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and let's get this nursing school done. Why did I just do that like a gangster? Now I'm praying. Oh my gosh, look at me. Okay, love you. Bye.